Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ben with Eritabe Gardens. I have a nice one for you today. Today's video is about rooting fig cuttings in water. There are different methods of rooting fig cuttings. Some people root fig cuttings in the soil or soilless medium. Some people root fig cuttings in water. Some root fig cuttings in Ziploc bags. So there are various methods. All you need to do is to find a method that works well for you. So I have different methods of rooting fig cuttings. But today is about rooting fig cuttings in water. How to root fig cuttings in water with an amazing result. Well, let me show you how to root fig cuttings in water to get amazing result. These are the three cuttings that I'm rooting in water. Now I want to carry out an experiment on these ones. This one here is a I-258. A friend of mine sent it to me. I-258. So I decided to root it in water. Normally when I'm rooting cuttings in water, I don't scare the side. But this time around, I scared the side. I want to see what difference it will make when you are rooting cuttings in water. I don't do it, but this time around, I said I'm going to do it. So this one has so now this is in water. Today is January 3rd, 2022, and that is the date. You see, January 3rd, 2022. This cutting is Coleodydium gigantea. And the reason why I'm using this cutting is because I bought this cutting, and when I received it, it wasn't well lignified. So I didn't want to store it in the fridge because I prefer to root a lot of cuttings in spring. So I have more than 50 cuttings in my refrigerator right now, waiting for spring. But I decided to root this one in water since it's not well lignified, and I scared the side also. So need an experiment. So, and all these cuttings, I'm going to leave them in here till spring. I decided to put this in the middle of this so it can stand straight. You can see it's not touching the bottom of the container. So between now and spring, I want to see how long the roots will be. Now look at this one here. This is a thick cutting, and it is, sorry, let me turn it this way. And the name of the variety is Carini. And look at the cutting. And the reason why I decided to use this cutting is because one is very thick. It has some spots Now, these spots usually produce roots. You can see those spots. So that's why I decided to use this cutting for this experiment. So all these spots you are seeing will produce roots. So I'll keep you guys along to see the progress of this experiment. So this will be in water till spring. It has one node there where it has a node there. Well, I was removing the candle wax, so I decided not to scar this one but to leave it plain. But this spot here was when I was removing the candle wax that was at the bottom. So it has only 3 nodes. 1, 2, and 3. So with this, I'm leaving the 2 nodes, 1, 2, in the water. So you can see. So 2 nodes in the water and 1 node above the water. So I'll keep you guys updated on this journey of rooting these cuttings in water till spring. Today is January 17th. It's been 2 weeks now that I started rooting these 3 cuttings. You can see the date, 3rd of January. So it's 2 weeks today, and I want to show you the progress of these 3 cuttings. Now let me show you the Carini cuttings. I hope you can see the name. I'm trying to see. Carini. Now you can see just in 2 weeks, look at the roots that are forming everywhere the water is. If you remember, when I made the video 3rd of January, I said one of the reasons why I'm rooting this Carini cutting is because it has spots. Can you see these spots? White spots all over it. You see it? And I said from these white spots, that is where roots will be coming out from. Also from the nodes. This is one of the reasons why cuttings like this will be successful rooting it in water, because the body is full of white spots where roots will pop out from. And here it is. Look at this. Roots all over coming out from the white spots. So if you want to root cuttings in water, look for cuttings that have spots, white spots all over it. Now the cutting might be spooned, but if it has white spots all over it, that tells you that it will be good to root it in water. And some cuttings might not be smooth. If you feel it, like this one, if you feel this one is smooth, not too smooth, a little bit smooth, but you can feel that it's a little bit rough. Why? Because of the white spots. It makes it rough. Some cuttings, the body is very, very smooth and there are no spots. Those cuttings will not root in water. If they root, it will take a very, very, very long time. But most of the times, they will not root. But like this one, you can see the white spots all over it. The white spots all over it. So now you can see the roots are popping up from everywhere, not only from the node. The bottom part has a node, you see, but look at the body. Look at the roots popping up everywhere on the body. So this is why cuttings like this do well in water. And this is just 2 weeks. Now, there is no leaf popping out yet from the node. That's the node there. There is no growth yet. And that is what I want. I want roots first before leaves. Now, let me show you this one here. This one is I-258. You see, this is I-258 that a friend gave me. Look at the roots that are popping out. This is just 2 weeks old. And look at the roots. Now, there are no roots around where I scar it yet. Why? Because this area with the roots is the area where the level of the water is. So the pressure is more around where the level of the water ends. But along the line, there will be more roots down the cutting. You can see some roots popping out there. But look at this. 2 weeks. Look at how long this root is. Look at that. So 2 weeks. But let me show you something. Can you see a new growth right there? That green spot. It is a new growth where the leaf is going to grow out from 2 weeks in water. Look at that. All right. Now the third one is my Coledoderm gigantea. I said it before. Now the reason why I'm rooting this instead of storing it in fridge like other cuttings that I have in the fridge is because this cutting is not well lignified. You still have some green colors on the cutting, you can see it. And I don't want to store it in the fridge so it will not go dry or it will affect it rooting because it's not well lignified. Because winter time, your fig trees go dormant, and once your tree goes dormant, all the nutrients, they go down to the roots. All the nutrients are stored in the roots all through the winter time. And then when it's springtime, the nutrients comes up from the roots back into the tree. And at that time, your tree start producing leaves again because the nutrients are back into the tree, into the branches, so they start bringing out new leaves. But if the fig tree is not well lignified. Like this one, you see, you can see that it's dark, while this one still has some green. Look at that. Still have some green color. It's because it's not well lignified like this one here or like this one here. They are dark in color. Brown, dark brown. It means they have few nutrients left in them. All the nutrients have gone down into the root. But this one that is half green, half brown, it means it has more nutrient in it than this other one. So I did not want to take the risk of storing it in the fridge because it has more nutrients in it. So the best thing is to root it away. So I decided not to root it in the soil, but I decided to root it in water because I don't want any growth between now and March, if possible. But if there is going to be any growth, I want it to be slow growth, not a quick growth, because it's going to take about 2-3 months before taking it outside, and that I don't want to do. So you can see just 2 weeks, look at it, it's producing leaves. Look at it, it's producing leaves. It has roots in there. You can see the roots. Do you see the roots in there? Look at that, all over it, roots all over the stem. But no root yet from the area where I scared. But look at that, roots. And one other thing I want to say here is, you can see the level of the water in this container. This container and this container here have added more water to these two about 2 or 3 times, because the cutting is using the water to produce roots. This one with cover, I've not refilled it for the past 2 weeks. Now I'm suspecting because of this cover, because it is airtight. Air is not going inside the container, so the cutting is not consuming the water much like these other two that the containers are opened. That is what I'm suspecting at. That's what I'm thinking of. Because this is open, air goes in easily. But this one, it is airtight. So, because of that, I've not topped it even for once. And look at the level of the water for the first time getting there. Meanwhile, these other two have topped the water 2 or 3 times, because I want the level of the water to be on the same level of water with the cutting. If you look at what I'm saying, look at where the water is and look at the level of the water on the cutting. You can see the difference. You can see that the water in the container, the level is lower than the level of the water on the cutting. So it means I have to top it up again to get back to that level of the water on the cutting. But for this, because it is airtight, I'm going to top it for the first time. For the first time, after this video, I'm going to top it for the first time. Yet I'm going to top this maybe, I think, for the third or fourth time, while this is for the first time, all because it is airtight. Now, out of these three cuttings, this is a cutting with growth. All because it is not well lignified. It has more nutrients in it than the other two. And this one is just starting. See, is just starting to produce leaf. That's a growth right there. It's slower because it's more lignified. And this one has not even started, even though it is the thickest among the three cuttings. You would think it will start producing a new growth by now, but it's not. It's taking its time. And moreover, that's what I want, because I want slow growth. Now, the temperature in this room is 70 degrees. It does not go above it. So I'm using the room temperature to root this. And this is why the growth on this Caldidium Gagatina will not be very fast. And because the room temperature is 70 degrees, there is no extra lightning on these cuttings. Moreover, these cuttings are by the window. But if you look at the top of this cabinet, look at the space. There's a reason why these cuttings are in this part, on this part of this cabinet. Now, by this time, normally there's supposed to be sunlight coming through the window, but it's foggy. It's cloudy because of we had snow yesterday, so there is no sun today. If there was sun, the sun would be only on this part. The sun will only be on this part of the window. And that is why I move them this way. I don't want these cuttings to have any contact with the sun yet. Because with the sun, it will help the top part of the cuttings to grow faster. So right now, I'm not interested in any extra light on these cuttings, because I want them to stay longer in this water till March, if possible. But I'm suspecting this might not last till March for me to upport it, because it has new growth and it has more nutrient in the cutting than the other two. Today is February 6th. I started this cutting January 3rd. So it's 1 month, 3 days today. I want to show you guys how far these cuttings have gone in this water. My plan is to keep them till March, when the weather will be warm. The weather will be in the 70s. Then I can transplant them into soil. But right now, look at my I-258. Now, I don't want to bring it out from the water because the root is not too long. The last time that I made a video that I brought it out, as I was putting it back into the water, some of the roots that were not too strong fell off. You can see them on top of the water. Those were the roots that came off, but you can see some of the roots in there, and you can see the growth. Now let me show you. This one was in a bigger container. This one, the Coleodydium gigantea, was in this container before, and it has a blue cover, but the blue cover was not allowing it to grow, not allowing the roots to grow very long because it was airtight. So I had to remove it from this container and put it in a smaller container, and you can see. And I'm happy with the growth. I don't want them to grow leaves faster than the roots. Though the roots of this one are not very long, but this is the Carini. It has no growth at the top, but look at the bottom. Look at roots. And this is what I want, because I want it to produce roots first. Look at that. Wow. Long roots. Look at. You see that? Look at the roots all over it. I told you, cuttings that have white spots all over it will produce roots everywhere there is a white spot. Look at those roots, so long. This is what I want. And remember, I didn't score the bottom of this cutting. You can see it. But these two that I scored, the bottom, look at, no root at the bottom part. And this one, no root at the bottom part of where I scored the cutting. But this one, I didn't score it. No hormone, nothing. Look at roots all over. In fact, you can see this part here. You can see this part here. I don't want the roots to grow there. That's why I'm allowing the level of this water to remain here, because this is where the new growth will be. One, and then there's going to be another growth up here. So I don't want the level of the soil here, the level of the soil here to be too close to where the new growth will be coming out here. But I am happy with the progress. So I'm going to leave them. Oh, I'm so happy with this. I'm going to leave them here. And I'm still keeping them away from the sun, because the sun is on this part of the window. So I will still keep them here. So I'm not bringing them out because I don't want to mess with the roots. So, because the roots of this I-258 will have been very, very long. But when I brought it out the last time, when I recorded the video, it messed up most of the roots. As I was putting it into the water, they just came off. Look at them. You can see the brown roots at the top of the water because I brought it out. So I'm going to leave it, allow the roots to be very long before I will bring them out. But let me show you others that I'm rooting too. I didn't start these ones with them, but I started rooting them after I started this one. Now look at the date of this one here. You see, I started this January 3rd. Less than 1 month, but look at the roots. Oh, there's even a growth in the water. Look at that growth there. But look at the roots. But it has started. You can see that. You see? So I'm not going to bring this one out of the water because I don't want the roots to fall off as I put it back. But I will show you the progress of these two here. Let me show you. I have to be careful not to mess up these roots. Look at that. Look at the root. You see? The roots. And this is less than 1 month compared to the other three. Look at that. So I'm still going to leave it in the water. I want to be careful not to mess up with that root. I won't be happy if I mess up with the root. Look at that. Now let me show you this one also. Look at the growth of this one. Less than 1 month. I have to be careful. Look at. Look at the roots. In fact, this one, the last time I brought it out of water, I lost the second root. There was another root somewhere here that was growing. And as I put it back into the water, it just cut off. Now, look at this one root. It's bringing out more roots at the bottom part. You see that? Bringing out more roots. So I'm going to leave it till next month, March, before I will uproot them in soil. So that by then they will have lots of roots. So I have to be careful. Oh, good. I'm so happy to see that this root is still there. So far, so good. I'm happy with the progress of these cuttings rooting in water. Today is February 24th. The last video I did was on February 6th. So 18 days after, I wanted to see the improvement or the growth of these cuttings. There were 3 cuttings: Carini, Coleodydium gigantea, and I-258. The I-258 did not make it. If you remember, because I brought out that cutting too many times out of the water, it lost so many roots. And the few roots that remained became brown instead of white. I didn't realize that early. So when it became brown, no new growth on the roots, by the time I realized it, there was nothing I could do about it. So because of that, I said it is time to transplant them into soil. Now this is the Coleodydium gigantea. I've uprooted this one already. I've transplanted this. And this is the Carini. And this Carini, I'm going to uproot it in this container, and it has holes at the bottom so that the water can drain out easily. And the reason why I've not brought this out is because of the roots. I don't want to put it back in here and to lose roots. Once I finish showing you guys this cutting, I'm going to uppert it immediately. So let me remove this from here and let me show you guys. I have to be careful. Look at this. Can you believe that? And look at the growth. Look at, full of roots. Even look at that root right there. It got stuck to the cutting. Remember I told you, cuttings that have a lot of white spot or brown spot, you see, roots will pop out from there. Not only from the nodes will roots come out from, but also from the brown or white spots on the bud. You see, that is how you know cuttings that will do well in water. Look at these massive roots. Look at how long these roots are. Look at that. And look at this. You see? Look at new ones. New roots that are growing long. So many roots. And I don't want to put it back in the water. I don't want to lose any more roots. I've lost some roots when I transferred it from the last container it was in. And I put it in this container. As I was putting it, I lost one long root. And that is why I'm not going to put it back in this water. I'm going to uppert it. So I'm going to pause this video and then transplant it into soil, and I will show you the result of transplanting it into soil. All right, I have transplanted this cutting into the pot. Let me show you. Look at the roots. Look at the roots. Look at the roots. My goodness. It is full of roots. So now I'm going to put them under the light and I'm going to water this. And you can see at the top I put some perlite so that fungus gnat will not be able to penetrate this soil, because I have more soil than perlite in this container compared to other cuttings that I have in perlite. I have more perlite than soil in those ones, in those cups, because of fungus gnat. But this is a big cutting with massive roots, so I wanted to have more soil than perlite in it. And look at that root right there. So I had to put some perlite at the top so that fungus gnat will not be able to penetrate into this soil, lay eggs and live there, and then fill this room with fungus gnat. Right now I am free of fungus gnat, all because of the rooting medium that I am using. Look at that. I'm free. There is no fungus gnat. Look at those ones there. No fungus gnat. No fungus gnat. No fungus gnat in here, because of the medium I'm using. I'm using 3 cups of perlite and 1 cup of soil. So because of that, fungus gnat will not be able to penetrate through this rooting medium to go down and lay eggs. So fungus gnat have nothing on me. All right, so this is it. I'm so happy with the result of rooting these cuttings in water, except for the I-258 that didn't make it. But look at the rest. I'm happy with the result. Now you've seen the result. Look at how long the roots are. So many roots on that thick cutting. So many roots. But I'm glad that you can see for yourself the success of rooting thick cuttings in water. I hope this has encouraged you. If you were scared or concerned about rooting thick cuttings in water, if there can be any success, sure. And one other thing I will tell you is this: when you transplant your thick cuttings from water to soil, make sure that you put it under the light, because by then it needs photosynthesis. You can see the leaf on my cuttings. So now they need light, and I will leave it for maybe a week or so before I will give them soluble fertilizer to help them grow, to help them produce more roots. So, if this video has encouraged you, if this video has inspired you, please like this video, share this video. Let it help somebody else also. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell so that you won't miss none of my videos, because my videos are inspirational. My videos are here to encourage you, to help you. So thank you. I appreciate you subscribing to my channel, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye.